11 November, Friday, MAO with Cal. Wow, very impressive CPI. I mean, seriously, I'm looking at 7.908 and it come out 7.7. And of course, if you look at some of the reports, there are actually speculation that there could be a 7.7, and the market analysts, economists, or you call the boys, they were looking at a 3 to 6% upside movement if this really happened. And incredibly, the last night, the Dow Jones really did something similar. But the question is it possible to sustain? Right, I'll tell you more in detail shortly, but once again, disclaimer apply as usual, and thank you AIMS for the kind sponsorship. Alright, Wall Street was crazy last night. Everything was, almost everything was up. Of course, there were some of them that were red, but majority was up, and the upside was really crazy. We're talking about 8.9% Apple in a single day. Nvidia, 14% in a single day. Google, 7.5%. Amazon, 12%. Even Tesla, the battered share, up by almost 7.5%. Microsoft, 8.23%, and so forth. The question is, what changes it? All right. So we can see that the Dow Jones popped 1,200 points, S&P up by 5%, the Nasdaq was up by, I think it was 6%, right? It was really crazy. And the reason is because it was a light inflation report. I'll come to this very shortly, and let's just dwell on this for some time, okay? But this is the chart that people have been asking me. I want to show you this, guys. Now look at this chart here. Let's be very, very, very honest here, okay? Now, yesterday, with the market closing in this fashion, in this manner itself, a pullback, and the volume wasn't accompanying with it. I mean, seriously, anybody would have known that this is most likely going to be a follow-through selling, right? Come on, let's face it, be real here. And of course, I give you my Fibonacci, and the 23.6 was here at 3807. So when the market closed at this point here, it was very clear, evidently, that we do expect a lower potential, right? Isn't it true? The thing is this, when the market gap up and go higher, is clearly now is going for the 4,000 mark. So there are people who text me and say that, Cal, you were pretty bearish yesterday. Then I say that, but look at the chart, and the chart shows everything there, all right? So to even look at the previous number was 8.3, to look at 7.9 to this 8.0, I think is a pretty fair number, right? But again, if you cannot recall what I shared yesterday, I'll bring it to you right now to hear for yourself what I shared yesterday and pay attention to detail, because that will help a lot. Let's take a look right now. Let's go. The shelter price, seemingly the shelter price has also come off a little bit over the last 2 months. So with these two coming off versus what happened, so we're going to have energy slightly higher, but these two coming down, it may be really possible to see a 7.9 or 8.0 year to year, okay? So in short, that's all right. That means that the CPI data could be better than expected. And of course, if it does do that, the stock market will have a bit of reason to bring up and recover what happened yesterday, all right? So if you ask me today, it's all right. I'd rather that if you're a short seller, consider to cut your position or reduce your position or increase, do some hedging just in case, okay? But I don't think it'll be a big movement here. I mean, there's some boys are looking at a big movement tonight, like 3 to 4%. I don't think so. All right. So this is the numbers right now from. Okay, so you hear for yourself. It was done yesterday, 17 hours ago. I was pretty correct in the lowering CPI, and I was also telling you guys to consider, if you're a short seller, consider to cover back your position or do some hedging. Now, I was wrong when I said that I don't expect a 3 to 4% because the market really did that. Obviously, the reason why, because I was looking at 7.9 to 8, but when it came out at 7.7, so of course, if you push around the figures, yeah, it's possible then. But I'm not trying to to cover my tracks here. In fact, it's very clear that I said all this thing yesterday. So let's just focus on more important stuff, which is later on. Let's look at the CPI data and understand what's happening. Okay, now the CPI data come out 7.7. Okay, this is really a very good figure. And we can see that the CPI excluding food and energy came out 6.3. So it's like, okay, pretty decent, right? Because both of them were lower. So that is one reason why the market is pretty happy with that. Okay. Now what we have, let me just clear my screen a little bit. Okay. Okay, where's my mouse? Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay. Sometimes I have this technical issue. Okay, now the inflation may has peaked for real in October. Okay, it show is slow a lot more than expected, and the soft landing is back in play for the Federal Reserve. Okay, so that's what people are now speculating, because we see that food prices has came off a little bit, and other stuff also, and but the thing is that shelter price rental is still considered at a high level. Yeah, but of course, if the market continue to go into the potential recession, then yes, indeed, we may actually see things changing a little bit. And of course, food prices, as I mentioned earlier, has came off. Okay, right. So now the market is looking at 50 basis point. The last current target now is 3.75 to 4. Now the market is pretty heavy betting that the next FOMC meeting, it will be a 50 basis point, no longer a 75. Okay, no longer 75. Now the thing is that it was just only like a day ago, it was at 50-50. That means that 50% chance of a 75 and 50% of a 50. So now this number has dramatically changed. Now less than about 15% or lesser is looking at 75 basis point. Now if you ask me, right, I believe that the Federal Reserve will likely be going for 50 basis point because it has been mentioned. But the thing is that it will be a continuous of 50 to a potential of 5.5 and more to really drive the inflation down to the figure that they really want. So the question is this: it's no longer about the amount, the every time the number going in. It's more that how long will this persist, and that is the thing that the market failed to really understand. But of course, when market want to buy, they don't really care. So now you can see that the Wall Street Journal, which is considered a mouthpiece of the Federal Reserve, seemingly is pretty clear that a 0.5 point rate hike is very possible in December. Okay, so that is another reason why the market is now jumping with joy. So some Fed officials have came out and also backed the slower pace of the rate raises because of the inflation figures. Okay, I mean, like what I say again, guys, the market will be happy for a while because this number is really, really good. So undeniable, the US dollar plunge. Now yesterday during my MAO video, I already said that if the data is going to be better than expected, the US dollar will plunge. So it really happened, and it has came down to the 108 level, which I mentioned yesterday. So 108 has tripled. Now the last time you see 108 as a clear figure, you can see that that was where it got itself resisted back in this July. Then it pulls back down, hit that channel that I draw. Then when you go up again, it crosses it, become a support over here, and of course went higher. So the thing is this: at that point itself, the CPI data was like climbing until we reached September period to October period, where it seemed to peak. So now the market is doing what it's supposed to do. So if the inflation figures is actually peaking, then by nature itself, right, the Federal Reserve will likely raise hike at a slower pace, and that pulls back the dollar. But my question is that this is not going to stop here. There's still going to be a few, at least 1 to 1.5 basis point coming in. So in fact itself, right, this pullback here is really I don't buy this. So of course, again, I can be wrong on this. Maybe the dollar going to go down all the way to 105 to hit the MA 200 before rebound. I don't know. But I just feel that this selling itself is a little bit too much, okay, in my opinion. And of course, the 10-year yield plunges. Okay, wow, look at it. The 10-year yield breaks my trend line 2 days ago, which I was quite skeptical on this. And then when I was targeting it may stop at 3.89%, but it went below it itself. Of course, now the next figure, which is the very important key figure, is about 3.5%. Okay, 3.5. Now 3.5 is a technical level, which I don't think the market will go there. I don't think so. But again, I have my own opinion. So I felt that the whole thing itself at today, today when you saw the numbers, is really, in my opinion, it's a bit political driven, right? I told you about this magic number, right? Because it's just like it just happened to happen, right? If you look at it now, what I wrote there yesterday in my description, my personal take for the CPI is 8.0. I was very vocal on this, and I also said that the market is looking at 7.8 to 7.9. And very incredibly, Goldman Sachs actually looks at a lower number, and they gave a 7.7. Now we all know that Federal Reserve and Goldman Sachs, they go long way. A lot of these treasury secretaries or some of the guys are from Goldman Sachs, right? So when Goldman Sachs come out so confident, that was where I was like telling myself, look, okay, we have the unconfirmed midterm election right now, and we have seen this enough time in the American history that every time when we deal to something like election like this, the data magically will be very, very incredible. All right, you remember Obama time itself? Yeah, something like that. So apparently now it seems that this number is so good. 7.7 is a very powerful number, and of course now this makes everybody very happy. So what do you think? Okay, give a think about this. Okay. Anyway, Biden came out, of course, definitely. He said that consumer price data shows progress on curbing inflation. He is very happy. I'm pretty sure you're going to put a pen and pack on Jerome Powell. But the question is, most likely, is this reason, okay? It's a standstill right now, and seemingly the Republicans is winning a little bit. Of course, is there going to be any helpful on this? Well, if you think, imagine if now the numbers are totally bad, the stock market is crashing. I think that we will more or less know what will happen to the show, right? So this is something that, on a conspiracy note, that I want to share this with you. And Biden says that he will likely run in 2024, but he will say he'll wait for a while first because he don't want to affect the next domination. Okay, so the point is this: Biden is happy, stock market is happy, everybody is happy. What do you think? Okay, all right. Now I want to bring back this thing to you about Mike Wilson. Okay, remember this Mike Wilson guy? Yes, he was perfectly spot on. He was perfect on this particular call. He called for sell right here at the top, and the market plunged all the way. Okay, now Mike Wilson from Morgan Stanley on the 17th of October actually gave a very important statement. He says that he sees a bear market rally that could lead to an 11% gain from here. Now, sometimes I really give my heads to these top people. They're really damn good. Okay, so what happened is that on the 14th of October, right here, okay, that was the day the market pulls back more than about nearly halfway mark. I was telling you guys that maybe there could be another strong selling, but the next day we saw there's a change of direction and the market gap up right here. So if we use the lowest point of 14 October and we do a what they call a 11% upthrust, right? We are actually exactly right here now. That means that if you use 11% from the lowest point on the 14th of October, right, we are now exactly at the point that Mike Wilson said there's an 11% rally, or plus minus and a 0.5%. Okay, then the thing is that some of you say, Cal, you should use the 17th October as a guide, right? Okay, fair enough. So what I did is, let me just bring to you now. I did the other one, which is I used the 17th of October instead, the day that the market rally, use the lowest point, and I do the 11% upthrust movement. And to get 11%, we get about this number, 4040. So take down this number. So which means that if the S&P 500 from the lowest point on 17th October mount up by 11%, we get about 4040. So the question is this: are we near the top at this moment now? And the whole thing is, was it really done because of the midterm election, or is it really that the 7.7% mark is 7.7% for the CPI is really genuine, and of course we'll see a lower number? Right, all these things is a burning questions that you would ask yourself. And for me, right, I just feel that something is just not that correct. All right. Now, some of you have been asking, Cal, spin the wheel, lunch with Cal thingy, is it still ongoing? Of course, it's still ongoing, definitely, for sure. But then you ask, how come there's no pictures on the lunch? Well, apparently this is what happened. Right, we have two winners on that day, but the thing is this: one of them couldn't really do it because he can't take photograph with me, and of course our sponsor, obviously they want some pictures. Okay, so that's why we share with you guys that if you are going to put your name for the spin the wheel and lunch with Cal thingy, you must understand that the photo and videos will be taken and we put on social media. So if you can't do it, then participating yourself, right, will not make much sense. Okay, so of course we're not going to let that, he won it fairly, but just that he couldn't take pictures. So what we do is that we decided that I talked to the sponsor. He said, let's give him this e-voucher, and of course we have given to him a $20 e-voucher. Yay, see, not bad, right? We still honor it no matter how. And of course the other winner was supposed to have lunch with me right now, okay, but he can't make it on the day that we wanted. And we did say that we try to accommodate to your timing, but it'll be a lunchtime. So since this David can't make it, so I told him, said that my sponsors is still good for 2 person. So I said, you can bring a friend. Okay, so he's coming back on Sunday, and likely next Tuesday we will do it. Okay, so you can see that it's still ongoing. So the question is this: are you following us right now on this? Okay, let me just share with you right now, right? Some of you have done it. Okay, that was on about 1 day ago. I think you spotted it and you keyed it BTC, right? That's cool, right? Now do note, right? This as long as you put your name, put the code there itself, whatever name you're using it, we will use it to contact you through Facebook or any social media. All right. So on the Monday we did that also, and I think you guys left the word bonds there. Yes, indeed. So every one of you who put the code, you will get a chance. And where are we going the next round? Wow, we're going this one. Yay! Tendon Kohaku. Okay. All right, this is a recommended place by my friend. He said it's a very, very good food. I've never tried before, but I look at it, it looks beautiful. Okay, wow. Okay, so we are going for this one. So if you think that you want to be having this for your lunch and it's fully sponsored and you don't mind photo bars being taken, then do what you do. Now today we have also left a code somewhere in the PowerPoint presentation, so make sure you find the code and key it right now. Okay, all right, remember the lucky draw will start tomorrow, so which means that the cutoff time will be at 9 a.m. tomorrow, 9 a.m. on Saturday. Okay, get cutoff time, so do look at it. Okay, all right, let's continue now on this one here, the FTX Saga. I just need to tell you this, okay? Now, people have been, I see on my social media telling me that, Cal, what happened, my money lost and stuff like that. It's pretty sad. FTX is the number 2 exchange in the cryptocurrency space. And of course, it was so big because there's so many big boys behind it. One of them is Temasek, all right? So now everything is gone. Really, it's all gone. And the question is that what will happen to Bitcoin, right? So you must understand the whole thing here. Bitcoin is one of the key instruments of the cryptocurrency space. And of course, if FTX really goes down, right, Bitcoin will be hit, that's for sure. And then the question is this. Now, the cost of production of Bitcoin at the moment now for, let's say in America, is about 19,000 US dollars. Okay, so think about this now. The Bitcoin is trading at about 17,000, and the Bitcoin average expenses is about 19,000 to 20,000. So it's actually below. So it doesn't make any sense of anybody now to go and harvest or mine the Bitcoin. It doesn't make sense at all. If the price is like say 55,000 or 100,000, of course it's good. You treat about mining it and get some money back. So if that's the case itself, right, is it possible to see Bitcoin going down further? And I believe it will go down further. My personal take is still the same. I've been saying this for the countless of time. I still believe that we can see about 12,000 for BTC. I've been saying this for some time. I think that this is the figure that will happen. So of course, if they hit 12,000, if you're even further away from the mining cost, right, then what's the benefit? Well, on the flip note itself, well, you are buying something that's so much cheaper because it was at a high of 60,000. To buy at 12,000 is almost 80% of the high. I think that for the longer term, it's kind of worth it. Okay, that's how I see it from this angle. All right, so let's look at the chart for today and see what can we learn and get from the market. Let me just get myself ready to send out the screen up. Here we go. Okay. Now, first of all, let's take a look right here, guys. This is the this is my my KFC chart that I shared with you guys, and you can see pretty clear that yesterday the market closed below my KFC. So I was pretty expecting that the market will go down a little bit more, right? Because this, I'm following my chart, right? But of course, again, on the same note, because I think that the CPI data will be better than expected. So I was just thinking that maybe the market will rebound to about my KFC level. No, I never expected it goes much higher. So again, you see, right, charts versus market and magic numbers, all right? So now, if the market stays above my KFC figure at 33,031, I said before, then you'll be going towards this figure, and that's about 34,000, okay? Oops, sorry. Now you look at this is my 5% retracement mark, Dow Jones. So again, you can see that the market retraced at the 90% mark with the black hawk down. So I was looking at the market to go down to 32,334. So again, I was not wrong to call for a sell if the market goes near the midpoint, but I never expected it go much higher. So now it crossed the 90% mark. So which means that we are now by mathematics, we are about 8% off from the all-time high. Wow, that's a tremendous change, because just a month ago we were like at the below at the bear territory mark. Now we are like almost back to the all-time high again. So don't you think that the market itself is a bit crazy at the moment? Yeah, it doesn't make sense, but never mind. That's how it works, okay? And You can look at my TWB chart yesterday. We also have the same thing. The market couldn't go above the BNB RL, and then it was CCYR. So buy right again is meant for selling. So everything is on a technical ground, was more towards the sell side, but the fundamental and the incredible number from CPI changes everything. Okay, let's look at the Dow Jones for today. Now for Dow Jones today, you can see the CCRY right now, and the likelihood the market may be going for 34,109. It is very possible. Okay, the MLP is 33,173. So as long as the market stays above MLP and above OP to hit 34,109, it is really possible. Now both KSI and KRW are both in positive light, so upside potential is there. But of course, again, I say yesterday the movement upside was because of dollar pulling down. If the dollar do recover, maybe this will change a bit. Okay, let's take a look further. Now for the Nasdaq, let's take a look right now. The Nasdaq, wow, tremendous. This is one of the biggest single day gain, right? And it crossed back all the way and now stays above the BNB RL level. Now the BNB RL level is 11,584. If the market can stay above it, we can see 11,906. But again, if the market pulls back below the RL level, then a pullback to 11,310, it is really, really possible. S&P 500, oh my god, look at it. One single day could have changed the whole thing here. Yeah, blast past above the BNB extension, past the SL, past the RL, and it's just very near to the 39.95 BNB 1x1 level. KSI, KRW, both of them are positive, so 3995, it is actually possible on the technical side. Now for Hang Seng, we can see that there is a form of resistance at the KCB level. This is a fresh KCB at 17,164. Seriously strong enough, and now the market has pulled back. Let's watch this RL here at 16,858. If the market can stay above it, it can test back again this point. But if it pulls back, then 16,466 is next. Now for the China market, you can see today the China market has crossed my MA30. So it's a pretty good sign because we have seen it before. When it crosses, good. Only when it hits a technical point, which is like this, and pull back below the MA30, things get bad again. All right. So now this is what's happening right now. There's some resistance at about this 12,280. It's something that I've drawn long time ago. So let's see whether can it stay and maintain. All right. Now for Nikkei, we have not thought of Nikkei for some time. Let's look at Nikkei. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, Nikkei has continued to climb. It's a new BNB yesterday, and now it's going towards the 28,529 level. Both indicators are pretty positive, and that's something to watch out for. Now, crude oil is something that I want to tell you this. If the economy is really doing as good as what it's supposed to be, crude oil should be actually moving higher. But the way it pulled back itself, it doesn't make sense. And of course, yesterday US dollar plunges, right? So by right, crude oil should be also be going up, but it didn't. And it created a DJDD here. Okay. The only good thing for today is an Omega day, right? It's at 85.47's opening price, and it stays above pivot 1 right now. So if the market can stay above 85.74, the next target is 86.90, the MA30. All right. Last two before we end this session. Now take a look on gold market. Okay, gold. All right, let's bring out gold. Now gold yesterday blast up all the way. Okay, it was resisted at the BNB RL, and I was just thinking myself maybe that we pull back. But when I look at the KSI and the KRW, I was kind of like, okay. So now the market has broke past the BNB RL and went all the way up to this 1755. Now today there's a new two numbers, 177 and 1742. So as long as the market can stay above the opening price, we can see 1769 coming in. But there's an MA 200 support at 1750 right now. If the market loses this, 1742 will be the first support level, and of course 1731 is a very important level, because if the market breaks back below here, selling may come back again. Now I repeat myself one more time, that is because the US dollar was weak yesterday, which is kind of not really makes sense, other than because they are speculating that the Federal Reserve will now, it's not going to cut rate now. He's going to just slow down the pace from 25 to 50. So it's still going to be implemented. So that's why I really just find it very amazing how the market is reading this right now. And last but not least is Bitcoin. I share this with you guys. Bitcoin, as long as it's coming down, it's not a good sign. Now, yesterday, the market rebounded for Bitcoin, went all the way to 18,000, but today it's down by 1,000 back to 17,000. Now, the MLP is 16772, and if the market loses MLP, I'm so sorry, I still look at 14,000 to come, all right, for today. All right, this is Cal signing off. Wish you all the best, and think, ponder what I say for today. And for those who wants to get that lunch date with me, remember to put put your name in the comment box with the code. This is Cal signing off. Bye bye.